The pregnant woman you see here, excited and almost out of breath being proposed to, is 30-year-old Star Michael Tucker. Sadly, moments after this proposal, she would be found shot dead multiple times after a man discovered she had been proposed to before. In the mid-hours of January 2nd, 2025, at around 8 p.m., police would respond to multiple 911 calls to an apartment complex at 9 Mile Road apartment homes on Baldridge Drive in Pensacola, Florida. But nothing could have prepared them for what they would find. Upon arrival, they found the lifeless body of a female. Her body had been riddled with multiple shots of bullets. But what they found next was even more chilling. After shooting her multiple times, her killer would drive over her lifeless body with her own vehicle. What would drive a man to end the life of a woman who only days earlier was planning for a bright future? But before Star met her death, let me take you back to where she crossed paths with her killer and where it all began. This is the tragic life and death of Star Michael Tucker.
He seemed sweet, he seemed innocent, he seemed charming. He didn't give off he could do something like this. But you never know until it's too late. I don't understand why he did what he did, because he could have I just want justice as of now. And I won't stop until I get it.
Look at my face. Oh. I don't give a damn.
Star Michael Latrice Tucker was born on March 5, 1994 in California. Raised in Moore Park, she was adopted by the Campbell family after a difficult childhood. The Campbell family, known for their unwavering support, not only took Star in, but also ensured that she and her siblings grew up close to one another and were nurtured in a loving environment. Her adoptive parents, a solid foundation of love and guidance, ensured that their children always stayed on the right path. Growing up, Star was more than just a high school student. She was a dedicated athlete, excelling in volleyball, her favorite sport, and a standout in the classroom. Star's determination to succeed paid off when she graduated from Moore Park High School in 2012. Her grades were impeccable, and her athletic ability opened doors for future opportunities. After high school, she decided to continue her education at Florida A&M University. In college, Star continued to thrive, both in her academic pursuits and her athletic career. She became a key player on the volleyball team, leading them to victory and earning praise for her leadership both on and off the court. Star's natural talent and dedication to her goals made her a standout at Florida A&M, and after graduating in 2015, she pursued her passion for psychology, becoming a role model for many. But Star's life wasn't without its challenges. In 2015, she suffered the tragic loss of her biological mother, who passed away unexpectedly. Her mother's death left a deep scar, but Star, resilient as always, powered through the grief, honoring her mother's memory by pursuing her dreams. The loss of her mother was devastating, but it wasn't the only tragedy Star had to endure. In 2010, she lost her older sister after a long battle with breast cancer. Star carried these burdens but never let them define her. Instead, she used them to fuel her ambition and her desire to make something of herself. Her personal life also underwent significant changes during these years. In 2017, Star found out that she was going to become a mother. She and her boyfriend were overjoyed at the news of their son's upcoming birth, and they threw a gender reveal party where Star learned they were having a boy. But Star's surprise didn't end there. In that very moment, her boyfriend dropped to one knee and proposed. Star, overwhelmed by the sincerity of the gesture and the promise of a shared future, said yes. Together, they dreamed of building a life as a young family. Then, on December 9, 2017, their dreams were realized with the birth of their beautiful son, Braylon, a little boy who instantly filled their lives with joy and love. This marked a new chapter in Star's life as she stepped into the role of motherhood with the same determination that she had applied to everything else in her life. However, the relationship between Star and her son's father didn't last. After many struggles, they separated, but Star remained a devoted mother to their son. Her love for her child never wavered. Star may have kept a private life, but her social media was filled with pictures of her little boy and posts that celebrated motherhood. To her, her son was the light of her life, and every decision she made was focused on making sure that he would have a brighter future. Despite the heartbreak, Starr's spirit remained unbroken. She went on to become a service member in the U.S. Air Force, serving as a senior airman. She was assigned to the 919th Special Operations Medical Squadron at Duke Field in Florida, where she excelled in her role as a medic. She didn't just stop there. She also enrolled in nursing school in 2021, determined to graduate and become a registered nurse by 2025. She worked as the head volleyball coach at Robert F. Monroe High School and continued to pursue her passions while giving back to her community. But despite everything she had achieved, there was still something missing in Starr's life. And in the fall of 2024, Starr met someone who she thought could give her that. Little did she know this was only a rabbit hole in disguise. Starr met 30-year-old Charles Jerome Carson Doughty, a man who seemed to be everything she had been looking for. They connected through Facebook dating, and before long, their relationship progressed rapidly. Charles, originally from Pritchard, Alabama, came from a large family, one of 10 children raised by his mother. He attended C.F. Vigor High School and later enrolled at Bishop State Community College in his hometown. As time passed, he moved to Dallas, Texas, where he worked as an environmental technician and started his own family, welcoming a son in 2020 and another in 2023. But unlike Starr, Charles was very active on social media. He frequently posted about his frustrating experiences with the dating world. In one post, he expressed his frustration about the dating pool. It was clear that he was looking for something genuine, so he decided to turn to the internet for help. He joined Facebook dating, and soon he crossed paths with Starr. She captivated him completely. As his TikTok videos evolved, the tone shifted dramatically from complaints about other women to public declarations of love and admiration for Starr. And another one shared a photo of them together with Charles gushing. Charles was sweet, charming, and seemingly perfect for Starr. They enjoyed romantic dates, walks on the beach, and countless conversations about their hopes and dreams. Their relationship became public in November 2024, and it appeared that Starr had finally found the love she deserved. But as the months passed, Charles's behavior began to shift. The sweet, charming man that she had fallen in love with transformed into someone more possessive and obsessive. Charles posted on social media about how, quote, crazy he was about Starr. But gradually his posts became more disturbing. The tone shifted from affectionate declarations to unsettling rants about his love for Starr, which began to border on obsession. Charles's online persona morphed into something darker. And just days before the murder, he made a post on his TikTok account cosplaying as an inmate who had committed a crime in the name of love. What seemed like an innocent portrayal of his devotion was actually a chilling foreshadowing of the violence that would unfold soon after. He had become so fixated on Starr that his attachment crossed into dangerous territory. Despite the red flags, Starr continued her relationship with Charles, even gifting him a PS5 for his 30th birthday on December 9, 2024. But by January 2, 2025, things had spiraled out of control. After 3 months of dating, Starr had finally reached her breaking point. Charles's obsessive behavior had become unbearable, and she decided she wanted out. But unfortunately, this decision would come too late. At around 8 p.m. on January 2nd, an argument broke out between Starr and Charles at her apartment complex on 9 Mile Road. But this wasn't just an ordinary argument. It was the culmination of months of growing tension. As the argument escalated, Charles's anger reached a boiling point and he lost control. Charles couldn't fathom the thought of losing Starr. As tensions grew between them, he began to spiral, consumed by the fear that Starr might return to the father of her son, the man who had once proposed to her. This revelation shattered him, pushing him to a breaking point. In his twisted desperation, he reached a horrifying conclusion. Star was his, and if he couldn't have her, then no one else would. In a moment of rage, Charles shot Star multiple times, but he wasn't done. In a most wicked thought, he decided to run her over twice with her own vehicle. The violence was shocking, brutal, and public. As the screams of Star echoed through the neighborhood, the neighbors quickly dialed 911, but the killer was already on the run. Minutes after the first 911 call, police were on the scene, but Star had already succumbed to her injuries. The officers were confronted with a scene that no one would soon forget. A young woman, full of life and promise, lying lifeless on the street, her body riddled with bullets, run over twice by the same car she owned. The investigation quickly kicked into high gear. Police scoured the area for evidence and canvassed the neighborhood for any eyewitnesses. Surveillance footage revealed that Star owned a Jeep Cherokee which had been used by the killer during the attack. The footage showed Charles confronting Star in the parking lot, followed by him shooting her, then running her over twice. As detectives pieced together the evidence, they soon learned more about the killer. Charles was no stranger to criminal activity. Court records revealed that he had been arrested in 2023 for assault in Mobile, Alabama, and was a fugitive wanted in Texas. But it was his behavior towards Star, as captured on his social media posts, that gave investigators crucial insight into his mindset. Star, despite her own accomplishments and aspirations, had become trapped in Charles's obsessive grasp. He couldn't handle the thought of losing her, and his novelty turned into something far more dangerous. Within hours of the crime, investigators were already working tirelessly to piece together the facts. They learned that Charles had crossed state lines, heading back towards his home in Alabama. Authorities, now working across state lines, focused their efforts on tracking him down before he could disappear completely.
Investigation revealed that the victim's boyfriend had fired about 15 to 16 shots and struck her 7 times at least, and then used her car to drive over her. We're going to continue to build the case and make it even stronger so that he will remain in jail.
But just when it seemed like Charles had vanished without a trace, he made a critical mistake.
On January 3rd, 2025, just hours after the murder, around 3 a.m., Charles posted something deeply disturbing on Twitter. His tweet marked a haunting moment where reality seemed to hit him hard. Just moments later, he followed up with an unsettling admission. These posts hinted at a mix of remorse, shock, and confusion. But despite the apparent reflection, Charles remained on the run, still evading capture. But not for too long. Charles found himself stranded on the side of the road with a flat tire near Ralph and Coos on the Causeway in Spanish Fort, Alabama. In what would become a turning point in the investigation, Charles made the unthinkable decision to call roadside assistance for help. Little did he know, this call would be his undoing. The Escambia County Sheriff's Department had already alerted local police about the possibility of Charles being in the area, and when officers responded to his location, they found him waiting calmly for the mechanics. As strange as it seemed, Charles was acting as though nothing had happened. When officers approached, he didn't resist. Instead, he casually mentioned a gun on the console and stated that his life was over. The calmness with which he surrendered left the officers bewildered, but they knew they had finally caught their man. Charles was arrested without incident and later extradited to Escambia County, where he was held without bond. But the arrest of Charles was only the beginning. The arrest report contains a chilling detail that provides a glimpse into Charles's mindset during his final moments of freedom. After the brutal murder of Star, Charles didn't simply disappear. Instead, he made a call to the father of Star's young son, bluntly saying Star is dead, and refused to provide any further explanation. As word of the horrific crime spread, a co-worker who recognized both the apartment complex and Charles decided to take matters into his own hands. Concerned, the co-worker reached out to Charles, and through brief text exchanges, Charles confessed to the crime. He revealed that he shot Star about 16 times in a sudden fit of rage. Realizing the gravity of what he just heard, the coworker immediately called 911, setting off a chain of events that would lead to Charles's capture. Following the deputy's instructions, the coworker continued texting Charles, who eventually admitted he was stranded under a bridge en route to Mobile, waiting for roadside assistance for a flat tire. Though authorities urged him to surrender, Charles replied that he was too terrified to do so. That crucial admission provided law enforcement with the exact location they needed, and within moments, they closed in and arrested him. The news of Star's death left her family and the Pensacola community heartbroken. Star's sister, Dominique, shared that Star wasn't just a sister, she was her best friend and soulmate.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have all the right words. I'm tired. I haven't slept. I hardly eat. I'm just exhausted. I feel like I'm in a nightmare.
Her absence created a void that no one could fill, and the family vowed to continue honoring her legacy.
He didn't give off. He could do something like this. But you never know until it's too late. I don't understand why he did what he did, because he could have just left. I just want justice as of now, and I won't stop until I get it.
The community who knew Star as an Air Force veteran, a coach, and a loving mother was left in shock. Star was a woman who had always given back, and now her life had been taken by someone she trusted. The community in Pensacola also mourned the loss of Star. Star was known for her work as a nurse, a volleyball coach, and a member of the military, but also for the love and light that she brought to everyone around her. Her tragic death left a gaping hole in the community, and many were left reeling from the loss of such a bright, beautiful soul. The pain of losing Star, especially in such a senseless way, was deeply felt. Yet her memory lives on through the stories shared by her family and friends who vowed to keep her spirit alive and to honor her legacy. Star's death raises several critical questions. How could a loving relationship turn so deadly? What signs of obsessive behavior should have been recognized before it was too late? Obsession can quickly turn into violence, and it's crucial to understand the signs before things escalate. No one should be in a relationship that threatens their safety or well-being. While justice was still being sought in the court system, there were lingering questions about what went wrong in Star's relationship with Charles. How had someone seemingly loving become a perpetrator of such violence? Was there a point when those around them should have noticed the warning signs of domestic abuse and controlling behavior? One of the most disturbing aspects of this case was the fact that Charles Carson Dowdy had seemingly been given multiple chances to correct his behavior. Social media posts and texts provided an unsettling picture of a man who wasn't just infatuated with Star, but who became obsessed with her. He couldn't stand the thought of losing her, and his jealousy turned into something far more dangerous. Yet for many who knew Star, there was no way to have predicted this outcome. She had been a strong, independent woman, known for her resilience and her ability to overcome personal hardships. Her tragic end serves as a reminder of how toxic relationships can develop and how control and obsession can disguise themselves as love. Star's life may have been tragically cut short, but the lessons we can learn from her story are endless. Let her legacy be one of empowerment, awareness, and change. We encourage you to share this story, raise awareness, and take action in your community. Let us stand together to honor Star Michael Tucker and ensure that no more lives are lost to domestic violence. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story intriguing, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.